Just the way it goes. Just the way it goes. Degrees.
Sadistic Penguin Studios presents It's Getting Drafty in Here.
Drafty old barn.
The show of drafting random nonsense.
I choose business ethics.
And now, coming to you from his basement, a.k.a. Draft Headquarters, your host and draft master, Magnificent Stan.
Hello, welcome to episode 47 of It's Getting Drafty in Here. I am your host, Magnificent Stan. Today is Sunday. We're doing a special Sunday episode, June 23rd, 2024. And because of last week's success with 1984 movies, we're going to do 1994 movies drafts today. Most people have, experts, critics have called 1994 one of the greatest years in film ever. Lots and lots of really, really good movies. Joining me today, first we have our for her first episode, Sadistic Penguin Studios contributor, our buddy Keelin. How are you, Keelin?
Great. How are you?
Fantastic. I really appreciate you being on today.
Thanks for having me.
No problem. Also joining us again is our buddy Steve Kniss from All Sports Scene and movie buff himself. How you doing, Steve?
Hey, I'm doing great. I am not camping. I'm in my forest house. I'm in Loch Lorien right now, but the internet, who knows? It may look like I'm camping. That's certainly possible.
Could be worse. You could be out of power and running through your house looking for your dog, like Gordo was about a month ago, which was high comedy. Not knocking you, Gordo. That was fucking hilarious. So. So yeah, 1994 movies, lots and lots of stuff to pick from. I made a list myself. I have about 30 movies on my list, so we have a lot to talk about. Keelin, you won the lottery, so you had the first pick.
Awesome. Do I get to go now? I get to
do.
reveal?
Yes.
I get to do the big reveal?
Yes,
All right. This was a tough call for me. There's a lot of competition, as you pointed out, and I was like, how am I going to choose? So this is a semi-sentimental pick. I'm going to go with Forrest Gump first.
Okay. That is not it's not a bad number one.
Thanks. It's a cultural pick as well.
Yeah, definitely. I saw that at the theater at least 3 or 4 times. Not because I wanted to, but because my parents had a cottage, like a camping, fishing house in northern Wisconsin, and the only thing you could do outside of fishing was go to the movies, and that was the only movie that.
Oh no!
So every time someone else would go up there, and I was already up there, they're like, "Oh, let's go to the movies." I was like, "Okay, I guess I'll go fucking see Forrest Gump again."
Yeah, that would suck.
It's a classic. It has. It's heartwarming, but it's also really, really funny. So
it has a pretty good soundtrack.
Yes,
it was like a double disc soundtrack for CD. Of course,
it dove into it defined all those genres, all those eras, those decades really well.
Yeah, it's good.
Where do you fall on the Jenny discourse?
I think I'm not a Jenny hater. I think I'm a Jenny sympathizer, to be honest with you. I mean, I'm not going to stick my neck out here, but I see the question from Sean. Grandpa Joe.
Yeah, Grandpa Joe's
Terrible. Grandpa Joe's awful.
always.
What a fraud. Jenny, I mean, I feel for her. She was abused as a child.
Yep.
Like maybe even sexually abused. So, I mean, obviously she's not great, but seeing her origin story makes me a little more sympathetic towards her, especially over Grandpa Joe. What a fraud.
God never made her a bird. That was disappointing.
That's in a way he did. He took her via a terrible disease. So
that's a good point.
Like a remake of Forrest Gump. That came out recently. An Indian film, a Bollywood film that just it's available on Netflix. I have no idea what the title is. You all can look it up. But full on like feather floating into a train. I feel like the dessert is like gulab jamun, I think, instead of like chocolates. But like, yeah, it's.
Oh, I want to watch that.
I watched like the first 5 to 10 minutes. I was like, yeah, I think I know where this is going, and then turned it off.
Well,
in India and Turkey, they just remake everything.
Oh yeah, ET. Turkey has like 2 ETs.
Turkish ET, he farts. He farts like toxic gas.
Yeah, and they have the queer icon ET in Turkey.
I didn't know that.
I think it's like
that.
It's like Homati or something like that. He's great.
Well, all right, let's move on to number.
On that note.
Yeah, let's keep going through. So, I feel like there was one movie. I was surprised like how deep the list went when I started researching all the movies from 1994. But I feel like there was one that stood out to me as one of those movies that like first time I watched it, really, really liked it. Second time I watched it, really, really liked it. And then like it became the type of movie where if you were watching like TNT or TBS and it was on, all of a sudden you sat for like an hour and a half, 2 hours to watch it. So I'm going to go with The Shawshank Redemption for my
That's a good choice.
It just, yeah, I mean, it still, to me, 30 years later, still holds up. It's still, I wouldn't say it's an enjoyable movie to watch, but it just sucks you in such an effective way that it's a great way to spend like a couple hours in the afternoon.
Yeah, that was a good choice.
Absolutely. That's one of my top 3-4 movies ever to me. I absolutely love that movie so much. It's just so well done.
I hope that wasn't one of the picks that's going to make you like quit the draft.
No, not at all. No, that's the one. Yeah. So in pre-show, I mentioned a pick that if either of you took it, I'm just shutting this show down permanently. It's so obscure and awesome that I don't think it's gonna happen. But yeah, Shawshank. I mean, it's like perfect. You know, it's in the title, redemption. It's a perfect revenge story. You know?
Yeah.
It's the only way you can get the fucking warden. You know.
Oh yeah, that was the most. I don't know that you can say a suicide scene is ever very fulfilling, but unfortunately that one was.
Yeah, that's the ultimate film orgasm when that guy blows his fucking brains out.
It was a relief.
Yes.
Terrible.
It's funny. So when I started dating Brandy, she had just had knee surgery. This is over 20 years ago now. And she had just had knee surgery, so I brought her a ton of movies, and she had never seen Shawshank Redemption at that point. And I'm like, "Are you fucking? You just lay down. We're watching right now." Like, it's one of those movies. If it's on TV, I'll watch it no matter what. It doesn't matter what else is on. It's going on. So definitely great pick, Steve.
It's good.
And then it became one of those movies that like is a great on in the background movie because you've seen it 20 times. It doesn't. You know what's going on. You just need something on while you're working.
As soon as you said TNT or TBS, I was like, oh, it's going to be Shawshank because it was on like all the time.
Yeah, I mean, Forrest Gump won Best Picture that year, but I think most people think Shawshank Redemption was the best actual movie that year. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think it aged the best too.
That is true.
Absolutely.
I will not argue that.
All right. And you know what's funny is it did not do well at the box office either. That was the weird one. It only made, let me get that number. It was like way down on the list. Well, when I'm not up, I will Like, oh no, 20. It only made 28 million at the box office. It was 51st that year. Forrest Gump was number 1 domestically, second worldwide. So, all right, I'm gonna go now. I'm gonna go ahead. I'm not a huge fan of Oliver Stone, but I fucking love Natural Born Killers. I just do. There's a really good representation of like society at the time and moving forward. I think like people are so enamored with crime that it keeps getting worse and worse and worse and worse and worse. You know what I mean? Like it started with like OJ and all that stuff, and now everybody just keeps looking up My Wife Loves Me. I know. It's like Brandy's favorite movie. So, but yeah, I'm not like a gigantic Oliver Stone. I think he's just a fucking weirdo, honestly. Like I know why he does certain things in his movies, but yeah. So I'm gonna go Natural Born Killers. Rodney Dangerfield is fucking great in that movie. He's such a scumbag. I think everybody in that movie is a scumbag, pretty much. That's the funny. There's no protagonist at all, really. I mean, serial killers are protagonists. You know what I mean?
It's a good movie. That's a winning
Oliver
formula.
Stone, definitely one of those guys that became weirder the older he got as well.
Absolutely. And then obviously Woody and Juliette Lewis did great. Was that Tom Sizemore, right? Was the cop? He was a fucking monster too. And then I'm terrible with names these days. Fucking Iron Man was awesome in it as well. So I'm gonna go Natural Born Killers. Final answer.
Just good one.
Were you about to say something?
So that's a good one.
Oh, okay.
All good ones so far.
Number 2. I'm gonna move on from Oliver to Quentin, and I mean you got to go Pulp Fiction here. That was the first rated R movie I think I saw at the theater. My brother took me. Brother and my sister both took me. Gulf Mill Theater. I was 12, 13, something like that. 13. But yeah, I hadn't really been exposed to Quentin Tarantino. I mean, I'd never seen. I was pretty young at that point. Never seen Reservoir Dogs or anything before that. But yeah, I mean, it's one of the perfect movies, and it's done in a way that I think a lot of directors started to replicate, and like kind of like putting things out of sequence and then putting them back together in your head. And I think that adds to the fun. But yeah, Pulp Fiction. All right.
Yeah, I'm trying to. Yeah, I mean, I want to say something about it, but there's not much to say. It's a great movie.
Top to bottom. All right. Steve.
Yeah. Okay. Sorry, I'm next.
Yeah. Sorry.
Okay, cool. No, it's fine. I got thrown off because Bogues went ahead and stole my pick, but it is in fact going to be The Lion King in the second round.
It's very formative.
Honestly, I feel like Lion King, probably the best movie from 1994. Also very up there with rewatchable. Like this draft is all for me. So with my first 2 picks, like I'm set. And the next 3 are just going to be
You pick such opposite ends of the spectrum too. We got Lion King and Shawshank Redemption.
Yeah.
It's a nice diverse field. Both are sad though. I mean, The Lion King it's also a story of redemption.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's get busy living or get busy dying. It's like going back and yeah.
You just drafted the same movie twice, Steve. What the fuck, man?
I did. One is animated and one is in a prison, but they're both great. If you found like the perfect paradigm for a perfect movie, then just keep doing it over and over again.
So I'd like to comment briefly. Beefloaf said, with that start, Brian might actually win one of his drafts. 2 things. I won last week, so back off. And 2, Wait till I draft Blank Man. Then we'll see who's gonna fucking win this draft.
Whoa. Did you just spoil it?
No, I'm not drafting Blank Man.
I was like, is that where we're going?
One of the worst movies ever made. All
Okay.
right, Keelin. So you have 2 here.
I got 2. All right. So my first one, I'm going to go with Interview with a Vampire. I'm sorry, you have Brad Pitt and Tom Cruise. Like, I'm just saying. Also, it's so interesting to see Tom Cruise in that role and think about Tom Cruise now and like Oprah couch jumping. And
I love her.
yeah, he did a really great job. He would have made a really good like horror actor or some other creep instead of like a real life creep. Also, I love New Orleans, so that was like right before I started college down there, and I was like, "Oh shit, there's vampires!" Time to get bit.
It's really well cast too, because I think Brad and Tom worked off each other really well, and then Antonio Banderas is really good in it too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Kirsten Dunst.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anything Anne Rice related is going to turn out to be okay, except Queen of the Damned.
I was about to say, like, oh.
I don't.
But
think
otherwise,
I don't think Queen of the Damned was that bad. I really don't. It's a watch. Like you got to give it a shot. But.
Yeah.
Yumper said it, but you've got a great like Spotify playlist from your first 2 picks.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Oh yeah, Christian Slater was in it. I forgot about that.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. The guy who directed it didn't do a ton, in terms of directing, but he was a writer.
Yeah.
I was just looking him up a little bit. Nothing at all. It's kind of funny.
Oh, The Crying Game? He did The Crying Game.
Oh, did he do The Crying Game? Okay.
I think so, yeah. No. It's kind of a sleeper.
He wrote The Crying Game. Yeah, he didn't direct it.
I mean, what a twist. Twist king.
Absolutely.
Take that, M. Night.
Okay.
All right. Is it time to move on?
Yes. Unless
right.
unless you'd like to talk about an interview. We're actually ahead of time right now. So if you'd like to,
we can stop and talk here.
Okay. Let's go back to Tom Cruise really quick.
Let's do it.
He's an asshole, but he's good at everything, I feel like.
He is. The stunts really are the thing that blew me away. Because I'm like, why are you doing this?
The motorcycle stuff and the plane. Yeah.
Yeah. And when he was at the top of that, I think it was in Dubai, he was at like on top of that tower. I was like, why are you doing this?
Because he's a crazy person.
Yeah. I mean, that is clear. Yeah, he's great. He's great in that role.
Do you
Crazy
think
man.
when he before he took off on the motorcycle, he's like, I'm gonna fly like Elron?
Maybe. I wonder if, I mean, the Church of Scientology probably has some sort of like life insurance policy on him or some shrine prepared, maybe both. I don't know.
Does he just hang out listening to Beck all the time?
Probably. I was just reading today that Nancy Cartwright, the voice of Bart Simpson and Nelson and Maggie, etc. from The Simpsons, she's a Scientologist, and I read she donated $10 million, which was like twice her salary at the time, in 1 year to the Church of Scientology. And I was like, what is happening?
Yeah, they got some fun ones over there. Kirstie Alley was the highest ranked one in Hollywood for a long time.
Uh-oh.
She's the one that kind of reeled a lot of them in. I know I'm kind of Phil because I see Steve's having trouble with his connection. Well, yeah, we could talk about no, we're not going to talk about Scientology for a long time.
Yeah, let's hope we'll get on some kind of list or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're watching us.
Yeah. Well, he's back.
Okay, you okay, Steve?
Oh, I'm back. I've moved closer to my router, and we'll see if that makes a difference.
Okay. Hope for the best. All right, Keelin, let's start round 3.
All right, this was tough because I wanted to start getting really reckless here, but
that's me next round.
I'm gonna go. And this was tough because there were two movies I was thinking here. I'm gonna go Dumb and Dumber here.
Okay. Jim Carrey had a hell of a year in '94.
He did.
He had
Yes.
He had three really,
Yeah.
really, really
He did.
comedies.
Yeah. It was a hard choice. I've probably watched some of those more than this one, but I remember seeing it in the theaters and it being kind of like the first movie like that I had seen. Just kind of like stupid poop humor, and yeah, it's great. I quote. Well, see you later.
All right then.
Yeah, I like we got no jobs, we got no food. Our pets' heads are falling off. It's like
Pretty
me every
bird.
day. So good.
The kid with the bird, man, that always every time gets me. And then the scenes where they're driving and they're just so fucking annoying. So good.
Yeah, it is good. Yeah, their suits are iconic. They're the ones for the gala. I want to get one of those just to wear like casually or next time I have to go to an event.
You have to get the orange one though.
I think I can pull it off.
And you have to do the dance.
I think I can do that. I got this.
Well,
And Jim Carrey shows off his can, and you're like, "Oh, that's actually." He even works in this orange suit. I'm confused.
I feel like it's one of those movies where the like the most iconic scene isn't by far isn't the best scene in that movie. Like Jeff Daniels shitting is. I compare it to like Blazing Saddles when they're eating the beans. Like it's funny, but the rest of it, like everything around it is 10 times funnier in my opinion.
I think in his like the GQ thing where he's talking about his roles, like his most famous roles, he talks about improving that scene a lot because I think he just kind of went off the rails with it and did a bunch of stuff that they were like, "Oh, he's really going with this." I don't think it was supposed to be as long or something like that.
He's a super underrated actor, Jeff Daniels.
Agreed.
Yeah, he can do a little bit of everything.
Yeah.
Except like he hasn't done any like Liam Neeson Taken's type stuff, but
I could believe him in it. I think he could do it.
it's like I have a certain set of skills.
I really like the Newsroom a lot.
It is very good. I've never watched I didn't watch the whole thing, but that's a Sorkin, right?
It is a Sorkin, yeah. And I actually don't really like a decent amount of stuff he does, but that one's very good. And I think it is a lot because of Jeff Daniels. He really is great.
The dialogue's always phenomenal. Sorkin,
Yeah, they are.
Yeah.
Speedy.
Mm-hmm. West Wing's one of my favorite shows ever.
It's good.
All right, Steve.
Can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Okay, cool. Well, if I break up, I apologize. But next pick gonna be for me. I am gonna choose Maverick, a film near and dear to my heart.
Wow.
And a film that I have seen so many times. I know it comes out of nowhere for sure.
Yes.
But a movie that I love.
It's fun. It's very underrated. Jodie Foster's really good in it. She's a bit of a scumbag. I think they all are scumbags pretty much, but James Garner really good in it. My grandpa used to play poker with James Garner.
What?
Yes.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Did he cheat?
I hope so.
Yeah.
Did he hold a gun under the table?
It's just one of the. Yeah.
Go ahead, Steve. We were about to say something.
I was just gonna say it's just one of those movies again that I feel like the play, for obvious reasons, a bit less now than it used to be. But one of those movies that when it was on TV, just you sat and watched, and it to me it still holds up.
I think Mel Gibson's like Tom Cruise. Like he's good in everything, but he's kind of a D-bag, you know.
100%.
Total D-bag.
Total D-bag. All right. I'm going to go off the rails a little bit here.
Yes.
Well, I talked about Oliver Stone. I talked about Quentin Tarantino. Let's have a moment to talk about John Waters. I am going to select one of the most underrated movies of this year, which is Serial Mom.
That was a good one.
If you haven't seen Serial Mom, you need to see it. It's fucking hilarious. Another one that kind of just glorifies a serial killer as, you know, a hero or a celebrity or whatever. But it's just so well done. Matthew Lillard is really good in it as her son. Ricky Lake is in it, obviously, because Ricky Lake's in like every John Waters movie. But welcome back, Steve.
I'm on my hotspot now, so we'll hope for the best. Hopefully it'll be even better.
This is why she married me. And this is another Brandy pick. Brandy loves this. One of those movies, Brandy and I, if it's on or if we're bored and we just want to pop something on, Serial Mom is like a perfect go-to because, she's such a monster. And at the same time, she's just funny as hell. She kills someone because they're wearing white shoes after Labor Day. Come on.
Yeah.
It's Labor Day, right? Yeah, okay.
Yeah. The part where she poked the guy's was it the boyfriend, his like kidney out with the fire poker? That scared the shit out of me when I was a child.
At the flea market, yeah.
Yeah.
And then like the neighbor is the maid from Different Strokes. And she's making prank phone calls to her neighbors. Shit's just fantastic. So.
I'm glad John Waters made it on here. He doesn't get enough conversation. He is.
I was
talking to
that,
Brandy.
But
go ahead, Steve.
It's the first movie that I've never heard of. It's the first movie I've never heard of that we got picked.
Oh, wow! You need to watch this one. This is
I'm
probably the best
right
John
now.
Waters movie. It's Kathleen Turner is the mom, and the dad is the dude for the dude from what's the cop show? SVU.
Oh yeah, Sam Water. Yeah.
Yeah, he's the DA, right?
Yeah. Oh wow. Also in the newsroom. He's a busy guy.
Busy guy. So yeah, Serial Mom. So I have two movies about serial killers on the list.
That's awesome.
I think I'm going to save my wacky one for the last round. This isn't my wacky one, just so you know. I feel like I need to take a summer blockbuster type of movie. So I'm going to go with Speed.
Oh, that's good.
Nice.
I love Keanu Reeves as a human being. This movie is not one of my favorite movies, but it's a fun watch. Dennis Hopper is amazing in it.
Jeff Daniels.
Yeah, another Jeff. There we go. Another Jeff Daniels. We got our scumbag. Yeah. he gets blown up.
Yeah, that was sad. Pop quiz, hot shot.
It's the first time anybody really it was the first big movie that Sandra Bullock was in too. Like she'd been in Love Potion #9 and some other stuff, but this was her first huge movie and really set her off. So, thank you, Caitlin. She likes my pick. Caitlin's going to be on draft. It's getting drafted here on Tuesday when we do 2004 movies. But yeah, Steve, you want to go here?
Yeah, it's a great action movie because my favorite action movies are the ones that are just so dumb, that are just nonsensical.
It's so
plots,
stupid. Absolutely,
it's amazing. So speaking of nonsensical plots, I'm going to continue the Steve train here and just pick all the movies that I love. I'm going with Little Big League here in the fourth round as one of the best baseball movies ever made. But I could watch the shit out of this movie forever.
You just wrapped up the Zombie Jackie vote with this pick. I've had Little Big League conversations with Jackie 6 times over the years.
It's so good and totally believable. And for me, I don't know if I was 5 years old when I watched it for the first time, but it definitely set up unrealistic expectations for what I could accomplish as a teenager, knowing that this guy became the manager of the Twins.
Absolutely. That's a big year for moderately decent sports movies.
Yeah.
Really aren't any great ones, but there's a lot. I made a little list. We'll go over it after we draft here. But yeah, it's a funny movie. It has good dialogue. I like the back and forth with him and the players. I like the guy that does the riddles. Like that shit's just night nurses from Jersey. Like
Yeah.
That's a funny movie.
Yeah. Billy Haywood. That's what I wanted to be.
You want to manage a
I
team?
think
You don't want to play for the team?
No, I wanted to manage a team. That was my childhood. I got so excited when EA Sports released that head coach video game because I didn't want to play Madden. I just wanted to be the coach.
That's adorable.
That is adorable.
So wholesome.
It is. That's all I had.
I just
But
heard
it's-
Brandon
yeah.
chuckle, so you're funny. All right, Keelin, you have your last two here.
All right. I've started to just go off the rails fully. I'm gonna pick Junior.
Yeah.
I love it. It is absurd. And I mean, Arnold Schwarzenegger and Danny DeVito, you got comedic genius in those two. And
I'm in shock right now.
I also love the graphics in it. They're terrible when there's like the little Arnold baby that comes out screaming.
So good.
It's a great movie.
Emma Thompson,
It's got
right?
science. Yeah, Emma Thompson. It's got science. It's got gender norm, mixing up the gender norms. Yeah, got everything. Yeah.
I would have loved to have been like a part of the press when this movie was coming out. I was like, so my new movie, I'm having a baby, and then what?
It is definitely a very like, how did this get made movie, and I love that about it.
He was on like a trip of like just making. He went from like Terminator 2 to like just straight like weird comedy.
Right? Yeah.
He did, like,
Yeah. Kindergarten Cop.
And, yeah.
Yeah. Also, Ivan Reitman.
Yeah.
Now that is, and he made it. He had a good run there too. Meatballs, Stripes, Ghostbusters, Twins. So Twins, Ghostbusters 2, Kindergarten Cop, Dave Jr. Yeah.
Wait, he did Dave?
Yeah.
That movie's fucking great.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. If you'd have picked 70 movies from this year that I would expect to be drafted, Junior wouldn't have been one of them. I'm not saying it's a bad pick. I'm just saying I'm a little shocked that you took it.
I was looking through movies from that year, and I was like, yes. I'm pretty sure I didn't watch it for the first time until during COVID, and I was just like, how is it possible this exists? And I remember the ads for it, like when it was out, but yeah.
It made $36 million at the box office. It was 41st in the year. Well, that's surprising for an Arnold.
Too bad.
You put Arnold up front. Arnold had another movie that year that was the third highest grossing movie. So,
Oh, interesting. The film's theme song was also recognized, going to be nominated for the Academy Award for Best Original Song.
That's a little shocking.
I don't know what going on. Yeah, that is shocking. Yeah. So, Oscar nominated film, Junior.
I think I'm voting for your movies so far. It's by far the most fun are the Keelin picks.
Thanks. I appreciate it.
I would like to say Junior is going to be the weirdest movie that gets drafted, but I still have one more pick. I'm just warning you.
That's
All
the
right.
thing. There were so many weird movies, like big movies and weird movies. It was a very formative year.
Well, and it's funny because most of the movies that were critically acclaimed in that year, like I said earlier, people weren't going to see them. They did better after. So, all right, Keelin, let's start the last round.
Gonna go into my turn here. I'm gonna go with Street Fighter here. Jean-Claude Van Damme.
Wow.
That's all you need to say. That's it. Just you can stop there.
But
I saw it at the theater. I did go with my friends to see that at the theater because
I did too.
it was a big deal.
Yeah, it was awesome. It was like finally something for me.
I never in a million years would have thought Raul Julia would play a good Bison. That was
That's what I was gonna say. I think he's my favorite part of the movie, and I think was that his last role?
One of, if not his last, yeah.
Yeah, which is also because he's so good in it, and I think he was already like maybe sick at that point. So I have a lot of respect for that, despite it being a video game movie.
I'm pretty sure he simultaneously filmed that and the second Addams Family movie at the same time.
Oof. Yeah.
And it was his no, it was not his last movie. His last movie was it was his last feature. Yeah, because he did a TV movie after that. So
yeah, that's a sad loss. I love him, and I mean he was in so many like of our formative movie roles. So.
He could have, and he was very, very. What was he? 50, 54. So he could have kept going if he hadn't gotten sick. That's unfortunate.
Yeah, and I think you're right. That's like an interesting pick because that's not who I would have imagined playing Bison. Mm-hmm. But I think he pulled it off.
I agree. And then the dude from Blood In, Blood Out played Ken. So. And
I think I remembered this last time I watched it. Kylie Minogue's in it too, which is pretty cool.
Yeah, she plays Cammy, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. I remember that.
So yeah, that's my fifth pick.
Damian Chapa, thank you, Yumper. He's white on the outside, but brown on the inside, right, Yump? Sorry, I have to throw a Blood In, Blood Out joke in there for Yumper. But all right, Steve, let's go. I love these picks, Keelin. I fucking love them. You have my vote. Vote for Keelin, everyone.
No.
Showing how deep 1994 was. That these were also movies not on my radar, but it's just there were so many good movies that year. Okay, I'm gonna pick a movie that I did not watch in 1994, but really only came to it in college, but then continued to watch several times after the first time I saw it. I'm gonna go with Clerks as my final pick.
Yep,
it's a good choice.
It's another one. My brother and sister took me to it. Golf Mill Theater. I didn't even understand the jokes at the time.
This is explaining so much about you as a person.
I love Clerks. I even like the sequel. I haven't seen the third one yet, but Clerks is. And Sean, Kevin Smith, I mean, for all of his flaws and all of his weirdness, is kind of a weird genius for making this movie. Yes, Sam, it is a movie about the county clerk.
Those damn lines.
I mean, he did this with all of his buddies, and like half of the actors in this movie are probably more like 75% are terrible, but it still works out, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah,
nobody
great.
beats Randall in that movie. What's the name of the cat? Annoying customer.
I just think that it's everything that followed after that has been awesome. But also for some reason the first thing that came to my mind was what is that movie where Justin Long's, is it Tusk? Where he's a walrus?
Tusk, yeah.
Yeah.
So good.
Unfortunately, that was the first thing that came to my mind when I was trying to think of follow-up projects, and I don't think that that's representative. But Johnny Depp is funny in it, so.
I don't think I've ever seen Tusk.
Oh, Tusk is so good.
You should watch it.
I mean, I love everything that followed. I like Chasing Amy, Dogma. Like Kevin Smith went on to have a pretty tremendous career, and people kind of shit on him a little bit.
Mallrats.
Mallrats is fucking great too. Yeah. Oh, you have a third nipple? I didn't know that. I didn't see that. It's the gal from Three's Company.
Yeah.
All right. You guys ready for this?
Yes, give us the obscure pick.
All right. So in 1994, Charles Grodin made a movie with our buddy Martin Short. The movie is called Clifford. Have either of you ever seen Clifford?
I don't think so.
Okay. So
I
Clifford.
think
You think you have, Steve? I'm sorry, you're breaking up, bud. You broke up. Okay. So Robot Steve, come on. So Clifford is Charles Grodin is Clifford's uncle. Clifford is played by Martin Short. Martin Short, who's like a 50-year-old man in 1994, is playing like an 8-year-old. And he's on his knees the entire time.
Oh, God.
You see him walk in the movie maybe once or twice, and there's nobody around him. Otherwise, he's on his knees, and he just kind of like shuffles around the whole movie. And he's a fucking sociopath. He's like a crazy kid. And he's obsessed with going to Dinosaur World, and he won't stop at any pass until he gets to go to fucking Dinosaur World. And you think I'm crazy talking about this right now, and that this movie doesn't exist. It's fucking real, Keelin. It's a real movie where Martin Short plays a child. I wanted to be in the fucking room with the production company when they pitched this movie. So Martin, you're gonna play a 7-year-old who's just gonna annoy his uncle the whole movie, and he's like psychotic, but it's bonkers.
I'm looking at the pictures of it, and it looks so creepy. But he does look really young. I mean, maybe not 8 years old, but the way his face is, he looks like he could be like 11. It's very creepy.
They play off each other so well in that movie. It's so funny. Charles Grodin's girlfriend is Mary Steenburgen, and Clifford falls in love with her. And
I like the movie cover too, with like a house on fire.
And I took Clifford knowing that The Crow was still available to us. I just want to point that out to all of our friends of The Crow.
You're gonna have people calling for your head.
It's fine. I've been railing on The Crow for years. It's like an inside joke.
I think it's weird because the way you described it reminded me of basically just like Problem Child, but
it basically that's exactly what it is. It's Problem Child with a 50-year-old Martin Short
walking on his knees.
So the entire night she's telling me she loves me, and now she's calling for a divorce. Go ahead. Brian hates The Crow, yet loves Tim. I don't love Tim Allen.
It's too late. It's in my mind.
Yumper's comment is based on the fact that I mentioned in our little Penguin group earlier that I have the Santa Claus higher on my list than The Crow. So,
you know what you like?
Yeah.
That's bold.
I like what I like. Okay, so Keelin, this is your first episode. What we do afterwards is we just kind of go over like our dump lists. So like briefly, just we can talk about movies that weren't picked. And that's pretty much how we wrap up the show typically. So, Steve, are you okay? Are you?
I don't know. Can you hear me? Can you hear me for now?
Okay. I just want to make sure.
I'll send my dump list in the comments. I'll send my dump list in the comments if not.
Okay, you're good for now though. Yumper sent a list. I also have another list from our buddy Shankster. So let me put that up real quick. And then, so this is from Shankster. So True Lies was a movie we didn't discuss. That was the Arnold Schwarzenegger movie I mentioned earlier. That was the third highest grossing movie.
That was a good one.
It's hilarious.
It is hilarious. Yeah.
Jamie Lee Curtis is always great.
Yeah.
Yumper text me. Okay. So yeah, so we have True Lies, Speed. I always forget that, we have an audio version of this as well. So like we're just sitting here staring at a list, but we have an audio version. So Shankster's list was True Lies, Speed, Shawshank Redemption, Pulp Fiction, Greedy, and Dumb and Dumber. So we didn't draft Greedy tonight. Greedy and True Lies. So Greedy's kind of fun. I mean, I don't remember a whole lot of it. That's a Michael J. Fox. Yeah, I don't really remember that movie a lot. I just remember Michael J. Fox was in. I think Phil Hartman was in it as well, but I don't really remember a whole lot about it. And then let's go over Yumper's list real quick. Yumper had Shawshank, Pulp Fiction, The Client. The Client is a really good movie with
It's a good one.
Susan Sarandon. Natural Born Killers, The Crow, and then honorable mention With Honors. That's another good movie. Brendan Fraser and Joe Pesci. That's a really good movie, actually. I that's another one of those. It's like if it's on, I'll watch it, even though it's like super super sad and depressing. But all right, so Keelin, why don't we start? What didn't we draft that maybe we should have at least mentioned?
How many can I pick?
Whatever you want.
I made a list of like 30 things. So.
That's pretty much where I'm at too. So if you mention something on mine, then we won't mention it. So
okay, there were definitely a few on this list that we already drafted. I did The Adventures of Priscilla, Queen of the Desert. I did City Slickers 2. Muriel's Wedding.
That's Curly's Revenge or Curly's Gold, right?
Let's search for Curly's Gold. I think yeah.
I love that movie so much as a child. There was a lot of West. There's also Mary-Kate and Ashley's How the West Was Fun. That was also a Western themed movie.
I think Brady's saying Priscilla was not no.
I hope it was City Slickers. Just kidding. Muriel's Wedding. I saw that in theaters with my mom. I don't know why she took me, but it was a great movie. It was very it was way too grown up for me.
Yeah.
But I got it. True Lies was also on there. Airheads. I also had
from '94.
I think it was.
Oh shit! I love Airheads.
I may have missed. Yeah, it was.
It was '94. Yeah.
Yeah, it does seem like a little before that. I think there were some of these I had to double check because I was like, is that right? I did have Ace Ventura, Reality Bites, Disclosure. The one that I added, Steve, that was my weird horror movie was the Phantasm 3. It's not a good movie, but I love it.
Okay, I don't think I've ever seen the Phantasm 3.
It's bad. But I love the whole series. I love the Phantasm in general. 3 is terrible. Yeah, D2. I see that. It's good, Steve.
So Brandon,
I think Hudsucker Proxy also solid.
Hudsucker Proxy is great. I haven't seen it in years. And The Professional is on my list. I fucking love The Professional.
Yeah.
D2.
It's just such a good year.
It's a good one. Have you watched the Brat Pack documentary?
Not yet.
Emilio's in it. So he was talking like he didn't make D2. And I was like, come on. You had that success.
He's kind of nuts.
Yeah, he didn't seem well.
Yeah. He, I can't remember what it was. Didn't he get fired from the new Mighty Ducks show?
Oh, God. I don't know.
Something like that.
Did he? He started in it. I know he's at least in the first season.
Page Master, my buddy.
Yeah, that's great.
I sent my buddy the link for tonight, and he's like, Page Master. Yeah, he refused to get vaccinated, so they've had to.
Oh, okay. I think I sent you that. Brian, I think I sent you that screenshot I took. Page Master showed up under horror for me, and I was like, "Oh, all right."
It's a horror movie. I can't believe I missed Airheads. I'm still hitting myself in the face for that one.
Yeah,
I would have taken it before I took Speed.
I feel like a lot of the 1990 to 1995 movies kind of blend together.
Yep. Yeah, this what Airheads especially was like a big thing because Adam Sandler's first real feature. Paulie. What about Paul? Oh, Paulie, the movie about the parrot?
Wow.
Was that 94? Holy shit. That movie's awful. Yeah, you mentioned Ace Ventura. So we got Dumb and Dumber, Ace Ventura, and The Mask all came out in.
Did I say that?
And not the Mask with Jim Carrey, not the one with with Eric Stoltz and Cher, and Sam. What's the guy with the mustache?
Sam Elliott.
Sam
Yeah.
Elliott. Paulie. Paulie. Oh, you're talking about Pauly Shore. What did Pauly Shore make in 94?
Yeah, I think he was in Airheads, wasn't he?
In the Army now.
Did he make?
In
Was
the
that
Army
94?
now.
Paulie.
Pauly is the GOAT. Pauly follows Sadistic Penguin Studios on Twitter. So
Oh, yeah.
shout out Pauly Shore if he's watching. He's not watching.
You should tag him now. Maybe
Brandy-
he'll watch it.
Brandy and I watched In the Army Now the other day. All right. Anything else, Keelin?
No, I don't think so. I feel like there was something mentioned that I was like, yeah, and then I forgot. So there's
Let's
that.
go. We had a couple people that had lists. Sam Reeves, Ace Ventura in the Army Now at D2. I think Sean had a list. Little Giants. Real quick, I made a little list of sports movies like just that came out that year. Okay, so you have Little Giants. We already took Little Big League. Here, let me move that. And then you have Cobb came out in 94 with Tommy Lee Jones. I love that movie. It's so over the top. Like you don't know what's real and what's not. You know. Everybody knows Ty Cobb's a scumbag, but it just takes it to the next level. Air Up There with Kevin Bacon, where he goes to Africa to scout basketball players.
I think I've seen that one. That was weird.
It's not a bad movie.
Oh, wait. I might be getting it mixed up with White Men Can't Jump. I don't remember. I'm getting all those. There was like a lot of basketball movies at the time that were like all blending together.
Hoop Dreams came out that year.
Oh, that was a good one.
Great one. The Scout with Brendan Fraser. Where he's Steve Nebraska. I love Albert Brooks.
That's a thriller, right?
What's up?
It's a thriller, right? The Scout.
The Scout. No, that's you're thinking of the one with Robert De Niro and
Yeah, which
The
one's
Fan.
that?
Are you thinking of The Fan?
The Fan. The Fan. Yeah.
Younger and I have talked about The Fan on this show a couple of times. So The Scout, Little Big League, Major League 2 came out in 94. Angels in the Outfield came out in 1994.
Really?
Yep. Angels in the Outfield, the weirdest turn in the history of movies. Like, yeah, that's Tony Danza. He's going to be dead soon. What? So that's that. I had 3 movies that are so terrible that they're great, which are, have you ever seen The Stoned Age?
No, that kept coming up when I was searching for movies, and I was like, I don't think I've ever even heard of this.
It's about these stoners just driving around in LA, like high school kids. Like the thing that's funny is it's supposed to be set in like the 70s, but everybody's driving like Ford Tauruses. And they're just driving around with a jug full of schnapps the whole movie. Blank. I mentioned Blank Man. Blank Man's a horrible movie that I'll watch over and over and over again. Has anybody ever seen Cabin Boy with Chris Elliott?
Yes.
It was a good choice.
A really, really bad, awesome movie.
Yeah.
What else did I have here? The Ref with Dennis Leary.
I don't think I've seen that one.
That's really good.
I don't know that one.
Guarding Tess with Nicolas Cage and what's her name? Shirley MacLaine, where she's the first lady, and he's a Secret Service agent. He's like in her Secret Service detail, and they develop like a really good friendship, and she's kind of like a mom to him, but she's like an asshole still too. It's a really good movie. She gets kidnapped and he like freaks out and has to find her, and it's a good movie. Mention the client. Wyatt Earp with Kevin Costner.
That's a good one. I mean, there were a lot of good Western movies coming out around then.
Yep.
So.
Tombstone, like all,
Tombstone
all of those
is
came out in the same like 2 or 3 years.
Tombstone is legitimately one of my favorite movies. It's probably my top 3.
Caitlin, wasn't that a sequel to Three Ninjas? As if any of us are gonna pick Three Ninjas. Although I guess I took Clifford and Keelin took Junior, so we could have taken Three Ninjas.
Junior's just good.
Steve took Maverick. Let me see here. Ed Wood came out in 94. Underrated one. I'll be your Huckleberry.
So good.
The Santa Claus. Mention that.
Wow.
Renaissance Man with Danny DeVito.
He had a big year too.
Yeah. Ernest Goes to School. Yes, Sean. Stargate came out in 94.
Sean has great taste. I knew that already, but he's just showing it off now.
Another one of those critically acclaimed movies that didn't do that well at the box office was Quiz Show. And then the last one I have on my list here, I wanted to put it last because I really like this movie and not a lot of people do, is IQ with Tim Robbins and Meg Ryan. And Walter Matthau plays Einstein.
Interesting.
Yeah. So she plays Einstein's niece, and Tim Robbins is like an auto mechanic, and he falls in love with her, but she's like a very smart. She's like a it's like a professor or something, and Walter Matthau playing Albert Einstein tries to convince her that he's really smart. It's actually kind of cute. It's a rom-com.
I feel like that's one of those, if you described it without me knowing it's a real movie right now, like if you put it in a lineup of like 3 things that were real and like one that wasn't, I might not believe that one is real.
Here, I'm going to show you a picture that makes it real. It's Walter Matthau as Einstein. Come on.
How was his accent?
It's actually pretty spot on, but it's not too hard to fuck with Einstein. You know what I mean? Like it's very over the top, but all you need to do is like come up with your best German accent. You can be Einstein, really. I mean, so yeah, it was an actual thing, and it actually existed. But all right, Steve, any other ones?
No, I put mine in the chat.
Okay. And then we did go over all of them, right? Yeah, professional. What's Chungking Express?
Chungking Express, just calling out Wong Kar-wai, but just so many good movies.
All right. Right on. That's about all we got for today. Join us next time. So Tuesday, like I mentioned earlier, we're going to do 2004 and kind of close our little series on digging 40, 30, and 20 years back. And I had fun doing these, so I think we're gonna make this an annual thing where next year we'll do 85, 95, 05. And we'll just cry about the White Sox while we're doing the 05 draft. So yeah, just be on the lookout for that. Pop-up socks coming back on Thursday next week. I'll have more on that this week as to who's going to be on with me and whatnot. But Tuesday we'll have Caitlin Reeves as well as our guy, the Sugar Baggy, will be on with us to do 2004. Thank you both for being on tonight. Anytime you want to come back, just say the word. If you have any topics, please don't hesitate. Keelin, I wish we were you were working with us when we did horror movies. We did that a few months ago. That was a fun one. Maybe we'll have to dig that one back up.
Yeah, bring it back. It's nice to hear variety, right? It's the spice of life.
I mean, we could phrase it differently. We could do like worst villain in horror movie, instead
Aw,
of
man.
drafting movies.
My list runs so deep for that. So
I want to get like real obscure with it, so that would be. Like we'll talk about ghoulies for 45 minutes.
Critters is good.
That's a good one. All right. Well, thank you guys very much, and we'll see you next time. Have a good night.